Hey guys, how's it going? I'm doing a video today on if I had to restart my real estate journey, this is what I would do. So, first off, how would I restart if I only had $20,000 in my pocket right now? And the first thing that I would do is I would set up a plan step by step, and I would look for houses on Zillow that are going to be probably between 4 to 5 bedrooms and hopefully two bathrooms. Two bathrooms or more. I I I could see it working with 1.5 bathrooms, but two bathrooms is definitely ideal just in case people have different schedules or anything like that. But if I was gonna restart my real estate journey and I was gonna look for houses to rent out, this is what I would do. So first step, I would go on Zillow and I would set my parameters for all the filters on there, just to see if I can find any houses in my area that is a low income area and with a college within probably 10, 20 miles. So if I can find that that's somewhat close by, that's great. And so what I would search for first is I would go through the filters and I would select one by one and I would say, okay, I want more than 1,500 square feet. Ideally, you need about 2,000 to have like maybe like a communal home, like four people that are friends, they live together. So that's why I say 4 bedrooms minimum, two bathrooms minimum, because you probably need a bathroom per two people. So with that, I would highly recommend that. And then towards the filters more, we're going to be looking at something that is more. It doesn't have to be really new, but as long as it's within 1900s. If it's 1900s, typically there's not any restrictions on replacement costs for insurance or anything like that. So minor detail on that. It has something to do with insurance. So it's easier, it's better, it's a little bit cheaper for you if you have a house that's within 1900s or 2000s rather than 1800s. They'll bump that price up just a little bit for insurance, and it makes it harder to get replacement costs. If you know what that is, great. Uh, Other than that, it's just not as good coverage. So they charge you more and they give you crappier coverage for that. So try to look for a house that's within 1900 or newer. And then, so I set that as my parameter. I try to get around 2,000 square foot. And then if you can find a house that's between 100,000 and 125,000, that is going to be ideal with a mortgage that you're going to be making the desired amount per month, which for us it is going to be $800 to $1,000 for us to be really doing well and having the profit margin that we need to potentially, if you've seen my other videos, retire in 5 years. So if we can get 800 to 1,000 out of every single place, we get 4 or 5 places, we got a steady income and we can start looking at other opportunities, maybe building a business or have someone else manage this properties. Okay, so we're getting sidetracked, but let's go back to the filters. So 100 to 125,000. So that's going to put the mortgage pretty close to probably, with everything with the mortgage, PMI, all that, it should calculate it all for you. Usually property taxes is not estimated correctly, so you might have to do a little bit of fidgeting with that. You might have to look it up on the previous years. But we're going to probably be looking at like maybe about $800 total for the mortgage. And then with property taxes as well, we're probably going to be probably around that 800, 900 mark. So that gives us a lot of breathing room if we can have 4 bedrooms and charge $450 each one. And that's 900. It's actually 1,800. So minus the 800 that we're paying for the mortgage and everything, we're actually going to be profiting about that $1,000. And there's going to be some minor things. So a washer broke, so you might have to fix something like that, or the sink gets clogged and you have to call someone. Not a big deal. But the main things is how I would restart is I would go on Zillow, I would look around, and I would be very selective. And I would email or text my realtor, and I would say, hey, I need the seller's disclosure ASAP. And they would send it to me. I would go through all of the COPE information, which is all the building updates and things like that, HVAC, all that information, wiring, plumbing, anything like that. And then they're going to sell it to you, or they're going to send you that document, and it's going to tell you the age of every single COPE information, all the building updates, and it's going to say, okay, HVAC is 2009. What you're going to look for is you want them as new as possible. So you can compare five or so of them and just say, okay, well, the furnace hasn't been replaced in 2 years. Great. You have another probably 18 years of the lifespan on that until it needs to be replaced again. So that gives you plenty of time to rent and rent and rent. And then, okay, now you have some extra money left over to actually pay for that problem. So you can update that later. That's exactly what we want to hear. We don't want to buy a house and then immediately 2 months from now, the AC unit goes out and then we have to fork up a bunch of money. No, we want to get the rental game going, get money in our pocket, and then if something bad happens, then we have enough money to afford it. So that's the first things I look for, is look at the COPE information, ask for the seller's disclosure, see if there's any inspections been done on the place and if anybody's backed out due to inspection. And then I would start touring. So go and look at it, see if it's the right design, see if it's enough space for 4 people, see if it's a good area, check out all of the. I would go to my realtor, and if I really like it, let's say there's a house out there that's 125. Let's go to the realtor, see if there's any other offers. That's a big thing, is you really need to make sure that you're not competing against someone right now. Let's make sure that no one else is in the ballgame, and it might be hard to do that. But for me personally, the house that I bought, they told me, well, we had an offer, but it was so low we couldn't even think twice about giving a counteroffer. So they weren't even willing to do that. So I knew it was probably less than half the price. So it gives me a ballpark, and that's what my realtor said, and that's what their agent said as well. So completely available information if they're willing to give it to you. And so I knew in my head, I was like, well, it's been on the market for, I think it was like 4 to 6 months, and it went pending, and then nothing happened. It looked like it just never went forward. No inspection done or anything like that. So I knew immediately. I was like, well, they gave an offer, and then nothing happened because it was too low. So I knew immediately I could offer a little bit lower than what probably they were hoping for. So I offered $75,000 on a $122,000 house, and they said no, but they came back and they said, okay, 110. So it didn't even scare them away, but they said, okay, 110. And I was like, nope, that's not happening. And then I went to 100, and they said, yep, deal. And so the next thing is the inspection. So we accepted that. We had to sign all the agreements, and that says if the inspection goes well and there's no problems in it, then I am in a contract to pay $100,000 to that owner of the house, and then I will own it. So the next thing is the inspection. So the inspection comes, and then if there's anything that is wrong that the inspector points out, they do about a 4 to 6 hour inspection over the whole house. You don't have to be there or anything like that, but it does cost about $400 to $500 depending on your area. It could vary a little bit more, but mainly you're just going to do this inspection, and then they'll email it to you typically by the end of the week. I got mine like that day, like late in the evening. And so I went through it, and it flags everything for you. It'll say, hey, this is bad, or it'll be like, this is good, and it'll point out everything. So I just looked over all the bad things, all the neutral things, the potential bad, went through that, saw if there's any major issues. I sent the inspection to my realtor, and I said, hey, these are the problems. We're going to ask for a credit. So basically a credit just knocks off what the total $100,000 agreement was in the beginning. That was the total price. And I said, hey, I want blah, 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 X amount off because I need to pay to fix this. And then they agree or disagree again. And then that's the contract. So if they disagreed and they said, no, we're not going to give you $500, we'll give you $250, that's their counter to me. And then now I accept or I decline. And let's say I accept, boom, we're all good. Now we're sold at $250 less than the $100,000. So there we go. Great. Now we just got to get a schedule planned for sending them money. So you have to wire it on the same day the title transfer happens. So typically that morning you need to send it to the title company so they can get all that figured out. And then you go there at the scheduled time to go to the title company, and you'll sign all these papers, switch everything over. Typically, prior to that, you want to switch all the utilities over to your name. They should cancel them a little bit. There's a little bit of grace period that typically the owner will do. They'll do, I'll cancel it 7 days after closing. So when we sell the house, 7 days after that, my utilities, I should have them already set up in my name to transfer over once they deactivate theirs. So it should be a smooth transition, but you do have to call the utility companies. And then you go to the closing, you go to the title company, and you meet with them and you sign your documents. You take your deed, you sign your deed, and then that is it. You'll go to the house, you'll get all the keys, anything that they need to give you. If there's a shed outside, they'll give you the keys to that. They might walk through the house one more time, just make sure anything's there. There might be security systems in place. They might give those to you. Who knows? They'll run you through the whole process. So just a beginner's guide right there. If you haven't bought a house or anything like that, that's the whole gist of the whole thing. And so if I was going to do this all again, I would do it exactly like I did it. And I would put probably $15,000 down on a mortgage. And then about $5,000 will be for closing costs. And then I would set up a business account through whatever bank is closest to you, whatever you really want. Make sure there is no fees on that. They might charge you a little bit of money for like checks or something like that. But make sure there's no fees on the account, like a $30 a month fee. Just that's ridiculous. Some have a minimum balance on them, so you lose $5 every month if your balance isn't over $5,000. So typically that's something as well, as you might as well save the $5, leave $5,000 in there. And then basically all you're going to be doing is trying to do upkeep on the house. And then, yeah, that's the profit margin. Mainly the profit margin that we need is buy the house for $75,000 to $125,000. Always give them a first offer at around probably 60 to 70% of the true value that they're asking. And I would definitely, if I was looking at values of houses, I would definitely look into different property reports, assessments, and things like that. Really try to dig down and be like, well, it's not worth 160, it's worth 135. I'll do 70% of that. Even if you're making people mad, it's not a big deal. You're just sending an offer. You never do it face to face. You're just telling your realtor, hey, offer them this. I mean, you can't go too low. You can't say $5,000 for a $100,000 house, but definitely, I suggest you give them an offer that is hard for them to accept. But sometimes after 6 months, people are willing to drop the price quite a bit. So I mean, you'll find out very quickly if they're willing to work with you or not. But if you can extend your margins even that much more and get a little bit of discount on the house, that helps quite a bit on your mortgage payments. And then you make an extra 100, 200 a month based off of that. That definitely helps whenever there's things that pop up that you don't really know about, like, oh, the drain gets clogged, and then you have to call in someone if you can't fix it yourself. It is worth it to get that extra margin just by asking, hey, let's do 25K lower than whatever you're saying. And it's as simple as that. One offer could change the price by 25,000 just by one text. So keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. I'm going to be working on foreclosures in the next video, and I have more rental tips and stuff coming. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to see anything specifically, I've also dabbled in stock market quite a bit. So if you want to understand any day trading or index funds or investments, that is something I can talk about as well. So please let me know if you guys want any topics for the next video. I'm going to be posting on this pretty frequently. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to post very much during Christmas. I had family come to town, so that took a lot of time. So I'm glad to be back, and hopefully we can get a bunch more videos up. Please like, subscribe, comment as much as you want, please. It really helps the channel grow. Hopefully, eventually I won't have to go to work hours on hours on hours every single day. Hopefully I can do this and help people make as much money as they can. I mean, hopefully just retire everybody early so we can all enjoy the things that we want to enjoy, or create businesses and do that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, please enjoy the video and let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.